I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Los Angeles, a city drenched in light, fame, and stories told through silk and sequins. Cameras flashed endlessly, couture gowns shimmered beneath the glow, and every step across the red carpet felt like a verse in fashion's never-ending poem. Amidst the grandeur, Vogue World, Hollywood 2025 stood as the ultimate celebration of creativity, beauty, and human emotion. Yet, beyond the glittering stage and roaring crowd, there was a quiet corner untouched by chaos, a backstage humming with perfume, the hiss of curling irons, and the soft murmur of stylists. There, away from the lenses, stood Kim Taehyung, known to the world as via BTS. He wasn't giving interviews. He wasn't posing for cameras. That night, he didn't seek the spotlight. Instead, he became it. The music from the main stage drifted faintly through the curtains, and something deep within him stirred. Dressed in a sleek black suit tailored to perfection, his eyes caught the dim light as he began to move slowly, instinctively, as if guided by a rhythm only he could hear. And that was where the real story began. Not on the grand runway, or under the gaze of thousands, but backstage, where Kim Taehyung danced alone, and the world, unknowingly, paused to witness magic. The stage lights glimmered off the mirrored walls, casting fragments of his silhouette in gold and silver. Outside, the event dazzled as the epitome of glamour, but inside, behind those curtains, one man's quiet grace eclipsed the brilliance of the night. His movements were fluid, almost hypnotic. Each turn, each subtle gesture, spoke of discipline, soul, and freedom. The staff members who passed by stopped in awe. They were not watching an idol rehearsing choreography, but a poet expressing through motion. There were no flashing cameras, no roaring fans. Only a few crew members discreetly recorded, aware that they were witnessing something sacred. Even in silence, Taehyung commanded attention. The air itself seemed to move in time with him. As the rhythm intensified, he caught his own reflection in the mirror. A small, serene smile crossed his lips, a smile that appeared only when he felt truly alive. He wasn't dancing for the headlines or applause, but for the quiet joy that only art could bring. Even his shadow dances, whispered one makeup artist, and it was true. His reflection on the floor shimmered and swayed, as if enchanted by his presence. When the song faded, stillness filled the room. The only sound was his steady breath, the echo of his heartbeat. Taehyung looked at himself in the mirror and smiled again, tapping his chest softly as if to remind himself, "This is who I am beneath it all." A staff member's voice broke the silence. "Taehyung, see, you're on in 1 minute." He nodded calmly, inhaled deeply, and stepped forward with the quiet confidence of a man who had just written a poem with his body. As he emerged on stage, the audience erupted in cheers, unaware of the intimate masterpiece that had just unfolded behind the curtain. The night sky above Los Angeles glittered with camera flashes, but none could capture the purity of what had just transpired backstage, a moment unplanned, unspoken, yet profoundly moving. Few in this world can make silence feel majestic, but Kim Taehyung does it effortlessly. He doesn't demand attention, he invites it. His charisma isn't loud, it's magnetic, woven from grace, mystery, and sincerity. When he dances, every movement breathes emotion. When he smiles, time seems to slow. He is not merely a performer or a fashion muse, he is living art. That night at Vogue World, Hollywood 2025 reminded everyone that true brilliance doesn't always shine in the spotlight. Sometimes, it glows quietly, backstage, where an artist like Kim Taehyung transforms stillness into poetry. He is the kind of presence that doesn't chase admiration. It simply follows him, drawn to the truth he carries. Because when Taehyung moves, the world doesn't just watch, it feels. And as the curtains closed and the lights dimmed, the whispers of that moment lingered, a quiet legend born not from spectacle, but from the honesty of an artist who dances for no one, and in doing so, moves everyone. Later that night, as the after-party began and celebrities gathered under chandeliers, Taehyung quietly slipped away from the noise. He stood outside for a moment, beneath the vast Los Angeles sky, where the city lights mirrored the stars above. A cool breeze brushed against his face, carrying with it the faint echo of the applause he had just received. Yet, his thoughts weren't on fame or success, they were on that brief, wordless moment when he felt free, moving alone backstage. He glanced at his reflection in the window of a nearby car, still the same man, still the same quiet soul, beneath the designer suit. There was something beautifully grounding about it. In that reflection, he didn't see via BTS, the icon adored by millions. He saw Kim Taehyung, the boy who once dreamed of performing, not for recognition, but because his heart understood rhythm better than words. Inside, people talked about him the way he had walked, the way he had carried the show's aura effortlessly. Anna Wintour herself was said to have whispered something to her team about Taehyung's impossible elegance, but he didn't need to hear it. The applause, the cameras, the glitter, it all faded compared to the purity of that silent dance in the dark. That was the moment that defined him, far more than the headlines that would follow. Back at the hotel, long after the event ended, he sat by the window watching the city sleep. The lights of Los Angeles flickered like 1,000 thoughts running through his mind. For Taehyung, art was not a performance, it was a language. It spoke in movements, in glances, in fleeting silences that others might overlook. He realized that his dance backstage wasn't just an expression, it was a reminder that art doesn't always need an audience to be real. Somewhere across the internet, those few pre-recorded clips began to spread. The world, once again, fell under his quiet spell. Fans called it the dance that stopped time. Editors called it a glimpse into Taehyung's soul. But for him, it was simply a moment that felt right. Perhaps that's what made it so powerful, its honesty. As days passed, that short video became a symbol. People replayed it endlessly, trying to understand why something so small could move them so deeply. Maybe it was his calm. Maybe it was his grace. Or maybe it was the realization that true beauty doesn't shout, it whispers. In a world obsessed with spectacle, Taehyung reminded everyone that stillness could be just as breathtaking. And perhaps that's the essence of Kim Taehyung. He doesn't perform to impress, he creates to connect. Every time he steps into a room, he transforms it not with grandeur, but with authenticity. At Vogue World, Hollywood 2025, he didn't just attend an event. He left behind a feeling, a quiet, lingering emotion that stayed long after the music stopped, reminding the world that sometimes the most unforgettable performances are the ones never meant to be seen.
There's no mercy in this world, just hunger, thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in